Am I overreacting? My fiancé asked me not to wear white to our wedding.
No, you are allowed to react.
Yes.
It's your own
I
wedding.
agree with Sean. Yes.
And there is a trigger warning. I mean, as far as trigger warnings go, this is not the worst, but it's emotional incest and shaming.
Emotional incest? First time I've heard that.
Yeah. Same.
What?
But only my sister can wear white in our wedding.
And I have to kiss her too.
Alabama's wild. Alabama's crazy. We haven't started the story,
Tide,
but
just
I
got their ass beat, baby.
Roll Tide.
All right, let's hop into this long one. So buckle up. All right, have you ever seen I Love a Mama's Boy?
Yes.
Well, that's basically my life.
What is that?
It's this show on TLC. It's kind of like 90 Day Fiancé.
Fucking John and TLC, brother. This is crazy.
They're obsessed with, oh my gosh, there's this one story where it's like the mom is like super obsessed with like, you know, the son, and they get like spas together and they get freaking, they're just, I keep forgetting the character's name, but it's an insane watch. Just watch like TikTok or YouTube highlights of it. It's crazy stories, man.
That's so funny that you knew it. I'm so glad you knew what it was.
Immediately.
So I, 27 female, have been with my fiance, John, 28 male, since high school. We dated and broke up because his mother, Debbie, 53 female, convinced him we were too young to be in love.
At 28?
They were in high school at the time.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, sorry. No. They're
currently 20.
Yeah, there's either less of a year or 1 year difference between the two of them. It's not that big deal.
Gotcha.
So we broke up and went to college. During my sophomore year, we started talking again on socials. He apologized and said he missed me, and we got back together. Cue the waterworks. Debbie literally cried the first time she saw that we were back together and told John that I had done witchcraft on him.
Huh.
What a Debbie Downer.
That's good. Okay.
Is it?
I've always respected Debbie out of respect for my mother and upbringing. I was raised not to go back and forth with my elders, but she definitely abuses that. Since John and I decided to get back together, she has tried to hook him up with women from her church, her job, and even asks her friends for their daughters to give it a shot.
Damn, she really hates your ass.
She's crazy. John denies all of them, and Debbie says I'm controlling. John has told her to stop, but not in a way I feel she gets the point. Anyway, 3 months ago, John proposed.
Oh, God.
Deb didn't come to the engagement party. Cool. She didn't come to the family dinner we had so both sides could meet. Cool. John's dad came and apologized for his ex's behavior. I told him, don't worry about it. The problem really began when John decided to confront his mother about how she's behaving towards our whole engagement. This turned on the light bulb in his brain, as he's always tried to ignore it and tell me to ignore her. She gave him a sob story about how she got pregnant with him before marriage and never really got to have a wedding, and this is triggering her. In brackets, she had a shotgun wedding at the courthouse. He asked her what she needed to feel more comfortable, and she responded that if she wore white to the wedding and I wore a soft pink or lavender, she would feel comfortable.
Yo, what?
Hey, yo, Debbie, it's called therapy, baby girl. Fucking don't take this shit out on your kid.
Yeah.
Yo.
My fiance, for some reason, thought this was a fair compromise, ? He also said, not asked, that his mom could walk me down the aisle so that she can get her moment in her dress.
What?
I told him absolutely not, and we got into an argument about it. I told him that it's insane that he would argue with me to defend his mom's honor, but wouldn't do the same the other way around. He accused me of being petty and selfish. It was bad. We both agreed to cool off, but by how heated it got, I could tell we both almost agreed to call it off. Now we're in a weird place. I love John, but now seeing how much he lets her impact his life, I just imagine her sitting at home with this evil grin, knowing she's ruining my relationship with John, and he's just putty in her hands. I think I should just call off the wedding. Am I overreacting?
call it off.
No.
He will always choose his mom over you, girl.
I will say, maybe it sounds like his dad is somewhat reasonable. Maybe talk to the dad and be like, can you talk to your son? And then if that doesn't work, let him know that I'm fucking like, I'm 1 foot out. Because that's crazy that he would even ask me that shit. First off, I'm about to goddamn leave. So this is my last, this is his last fucking chance. You talk to him.
If you don't do something, there's not a wedding.
Yeah, I'm fucking out.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't blame you for just getting out.
Peacing out.
But I'm just saying,
yeah.
the dad, I mean, this sounds like it's been a long relationship. The dad sounds normal.
Reasonable, yeah.
So I would say if you are truly in love, you feel like this is the one, try that route. But just know that's the last ditch effort.
Yeah.
I mean, walking you down the aisle while she's wearing white. I just can't believe it. I can't believe your John would just be like, yeah, that's a pretty good compromise. I mean, that all makes sense. Yeah, I think,
we're like pink, baby girl. My mom's going to wear white for our wedding.
you look great in pink, babe. I don't understand why you're fighting.
I've always
me.
dreamed of my mom in a nice white dress at my wedding.
You know?
Walking down my aisle.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'd go scorched earth to begin with. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't even bother trying to find compromise in this situation, because that's like setting the precedence of the whole relationship. Like, even when you guys were dating together, there's always that one person that's trying to sabotage every single step of your relationship. And not knowing how long, Debbie's going to live for the foreseeable future, she's always going to be part of every single decision that you're going to have in your life.
Or maybe you could.
Maybe you could really Debbie down her.
No. We're starting 2025. It was a joke. It was a joke, guys.
Debbie Downer in a video game.
Oh,
That's
man.
what we
It was
call
a
it.
joke.
I don't even think in a video game saves that one.
In a video game, it's going to save it. It's going to save it. If you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, go attend one of our live streams. We always be saying that, people. But yeah, I wouldn't even go in this situation. Debbie seems like it's going to be a problem for the rest of your relationship and rest of your marriage. It's always that, dark cloud looming over you. So if I was OP, I'd just piece the fuck out.
That's
true,
fair.
man.
That's fair. All right. So some relevant comments, because like I said, there are some updates.
I'm sorry. I can't get over the fact that Sean just wanted to fucking kill off someone.
For the foreseeable future, she's going to be around, I thought.
First fucking episode, brother. You're
Does she have
calling that.
We're joking.
We're joking.
We're joking.
We're joking. Give me that. So relevant comment.
Really good. See, I know what reference that is.
Hey, that's impressive. Relevant comment from OP. This is after a bunch of people gave them advice. Says everyone is screaming to leave him, and I would be too if I was just a third party observer reading this. So I don't fault them. But we live together and have been planning a wedding. It hurts. I think this is my last straw, though, so I appreciate your advice. I'm going to get my father-in-law to gather everyone on his side and talk about this. If that doesn't work, the wedding is off.
Yeah, get out of there. That's the last chance.
Yeah. But you nailed it, Sean. That's great advice. My dad hasn't paid any deposits yet since it's still early on in the engagement, so we're safe there. I have also decided to show John this thread, and I'll post an update after I meet him. Do you imagine what they're saying in those comments?
Oh, yeah. John's mom wants to fuck him.
Exactly. So, update. John came home remorseful. He told me he was anxious about it and brought it up to a coworker/friend about how I don't want to compromise.
That's not a compromise, though. That's
It's just being
fucking
weird,
insane.
Apparently his friend, God bless his soul, went off on him about him being cringy, and this angered me. So when I say it's a problem, you don't do anything, but when another man tells you, now you see the other side. I then brought up some of my talking points. Talking point number 1, him being so easily manipulated. This was also proved when I said he would listen to whatever another man said before his partner. Even though his friend agreed with me, it hurt that he didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
Point 2, his mom going out of her way to break us up with this silly request. He was way more open to this theory now knowing how cringe it looked, even telling the situation to someone else. I compared it to a father removing a bride's wedding garter, and he got the point.
Oh, God. Oh,
That is a weird,
worst
that is
visual
a weird
I've
picture.
ever fucking
cannot-
heard.
I cannot even imagine.
You know
What the fuck?
You know, I fucking hate that thing anyways. Like, even when
Yeah,
the married
the
couple
idea.
does it, I'm like, this is not for why? We don't need to see this.
Yeah.
Like, half of us are related to either you or the other one. I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
So
it is
just
weird.
the image of a father doing that to a daughter makes me want to. Oh God,
I mean, I guess it gets the point across. So
definitely.
That it did.
it does that. Point 3, him agreeing to his mom's crazy request before even talking to me.
Yep.
He claimed he didn't, that he told her he'll see how I feel about it and just brought it up to me. I asked why he did not see that his mother walking down the aisle on his wedding day was extremely creepy.
Yeah.
He said it's just a dress in his eyes. He just didn't want his mom to miss the wedding. I told him there will be no wedding if he doesn't straighten up, and he said he understood.
Just in what wedding have you ever seen the bride wearing pink because the mother-in-law wants to wear white? I mean,
Seriously.
doesn't exist.
Insane. Point 4 or whatever, however many points we're on. Me showing him how blatantly obvious it was that she hated me. She didn't even ask to wear white alongside me, which is still weird, but that I don't wear white at all, as if I'm some impure whore. He said he didn't think of it that way. He just knew she hadn't been showing up because she said seeing me in white hurt her. So I said, do you not hear your own mom saying that she wants to be the bride herself?
Yeah.
That she can't stand it being me? And it finally looked like a ding went off in his head. This man is slow as shit, but he's finally getting it, I think.
He's easily manipulated by anybody but his partner.
Yeah.
It's wild to see.
Point 5, me asking him what role she would play in our wedding, childbirth, Mother's Day, and everything to come.
Ooh, like what John said. Unless. I'll leave it at that. Oh God, we're gonna get fucking. That's the last joke I make of the year. This is the first episode and the last
Whoa.
time I make that joke all
New Year's
year.
resolution.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. No more of those jokes.
Flash forward to next
Yeah.
week.
The next live.
Yeah. Would I always come second place? He assured me I wouldn't, and he realizes how bad he fucked up. He was just trying to keep the peace. I asked by always making her happy and making me miserable. I refuse to live my life this way.
He's spitting facts.
He agreed and said he was sorry and that he wouldn't want to make me miserable. We have no children yet, but we created a plan and how to deal with any big milestones. She won't be there for anything unless I'm comfortable with it, and I won't be unless she does a 180. Final point, I asked what did his mom say to change his mind, and you all guessed it, she cried. She cried about how her baby was getting taken away from her, how she never got her wedding, how his dad left her and she was alone and had no one else, that she felt sick and just wanted to experience a real wedding before she dies. In brackets, she's in perfect health.
Yeah, date around, Mama Debbie. Come
Yeah.
on now.
You could still get married at whatever, 58, whatever she was.
Test the field. There's apps out there now. It's accessible for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw, what do you call it? My TikTok opened up, and I don't know if this is something about my algorithm, maybe, but it was like, my mom said the dating apps aren't working, so here's my mom. Age
Oh
50.
yeah,
I was like, yo.
I seen that. It was like a freaking singer from Nashville or something like that.
Oh, really?
I got a business owner from Dallas. I was like, why is this on my... I showed Nancy. She said, oh, that's nice.
Hey, going back to the whole
Good
TLC theme.
The song was Daddy's Home by Usher. I was like, this is crazy. This is
I was
crazy.
gonna say, going back to TLC theme, they have a show called 90 Day Fiancé, A Single Life. And there's actually a character named Debbie there. So
Oh.
Mama Debbie, there's two of them named Debbie. So
Hell
Mama
yeah.
Debbie be the third cast.
Okay, is there not a show that we discussed on the podcast where single sons and single mothers,
Yes.
and they all
Going to Manor,
co-mingle?
right?
That
What is that called?
MILF Manor.
MILF Manor, that's what it is.
Oh, shit.
What are their insane concept.
Oh my God. Bonus content idea. We watch and review each episode. Oh my God.
I'm telling you, if Nancy ever has free time, I'd fucking watch 90 Day Fiancé with her. Juliet will probably join in. We'll fucking make a killing out of that bitch.
Oh God. All I want to do is review episodes of MILF Manor.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God.
So she wants to experience a real wedding before she dies. I just told him that if that was enough to manipulate him, what's to say he won't turn on me again? He said his friend and his dad talked some sense into him about how he was going to lose me. So I told him today that this was the last straw for me. He had to do 4 things to keep me engaged if he even cared to. Number 1, go low contact with his mom and do not let her make any decisions on our wedding, which will be postponed another year to see if he actually sticks to his word. Number 2, he has to go to counseling, individually and couples counseling. Number 3, he has to speak to his mom with me present about her behavior towards me, because every time he goes by himself, he comes back with a reason why he left it alone. And number 4, he must create strong boundaries and learn to uphold them. And he agreed to these.
Oh, yeah.
Then came the bad part.
Oh.
I showed him the post.
Oh.
I felt so bad as he read everyone rip him to shreds in the comments. I could see how uncomfortable he was as he
I
read.
feel like at that point, like, I mean, do you have to?
I would have started with that maybe. But I
Yeah,
guess
maybe.
it reinforces the point she made.
I guess,
I would have maybe picked a few and been like, okay, these ones are actually
Maybe, yeah.
constructive.
You don't need to see the hate.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing stopping him from looking at it by himself, though. That's the problem.
That's
You know how
true.
brutal Reddit is sometimes.
That's true. That's true. I could see how uncomfortable he was as he read how much of a mama's boy he was and other things about his mom. We called his dad, who I'm no longer calling future father-in-law because I will call this wedding off tomorrow if he doesn't have my back when we speak to his mom. John's dad, Dan, who I'll name since he's a big part of this update. Dan also read John the riot act again. He was relieved John decided to get his act together. We agreed to go to Deb's house tomorrow with Dan and John's aunt, and my dad is tagging along. John has said he will tell his mother that she can't, under any circumstance, make our wedding about her. He also said if she does cry or try to guilt trip him, he will tell her he's going no contact. I feel terrible about getting a man to stop talking to his mother. This isn't something I ever thought I wanted. I doubt Debbie will come around, especially not tomorrow with all of us against her. I don't know if John will backtrack as soon as he gets there. I explained that if he doesn't grow a spine, I'm leaving. He can either marry me or marry his mom, but that's my ultimatum. He says he chooses me, but I guess we'll see. This should all make me happy, but I still feel icky, and I'll update tomorrow. So, the final update.
Here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm back with the last update. This is a bit long, so buckle up. John and I met up after work and we headed to pick up Dan. John's aunt couldn't make it. My dad was meeting us there. I had really bad anxiety. I told Dan and Dad that they should give us a few minutes before knocking so she doesn't feel ambushed, and they agreed. Here's the part everyone was waiting for. We get to Debbie's. John is quiet. We get there. He gives her a firm but respectful, "Hey, Mom." We sit down and John tells her we came to talk to her. And she asks, "What's wrong?"
You know what's fucking wrong, Debbie.
You know.
You know what's up.
John got right into it. He bluntly said to her that her actions towards me for years have been petty. Her not showing up for any of our wedding events was unacceptable to him, and he flat out asked her why she had a problem with me. I genuinely thought he was going to start off with the dress situation, and he went for the root of it all. Debbie acted like she had no idea what he was talking about. She has actively tried to get him to cheat/leave me for other women, but at that moment was shocked and doesn't know where this was coming from. She said she has no problems with me and loves me like a daughter.
Cap.
She looked at me like she expected me to talk, but like I said to all of you, I wanted to see what John will say. He asked her to be honest and named all the times he recalled that she insulted me to my face and behind my back.
She got receipts.
John.
Stepping up.
Proud of you, brother.
He mentioned she also told him he could do better every time I'm not around. This was news to me, but
Shit.
I'm not shocked. Debbie was livid. She genuinely couldn't believe he outed her like that. She starts going off on him, calling him disrespectful and saying he was disrespecting his own mother for an outsider. She kept saying, I know she made you do this. I know she's the one making you disrespect me like this. John was trying to reason with her and get her to calm down. I then texted Dan and my dad to come in. Once they were inside, Debbie became a different person. She was startled as she wasn't expecting them to come in, and then all the things she was just saying went out the window. She turned to Dan and my dad and said John walked in and just started yelling at her because of me. My dad looked at me
White
and I
woman
shook my
scared.
head.
I don't even know if Debbie's white. I'm imagining.
Little damsel in distress.
Yeah. Once Dan and Dad got in, everything was calmer for a little while. She went back to denying that she didn't like me, and they all told her that it was obvious, that the dress request was shameful of her, and she immediately replied that it's shameful I won't let her son spend time with her. John said that's not true, and at this point, I'm burning inside. I wanted to correct all the inaccuracies, but I stood quiet. John asked her what the real issue with me was. Debbie starts saying on how she knew I was going to be an issue since we were in high school. She said that once John got with me, his grades started dropping, which isn't true, that he stopped making time for family, also not true, and that once he didn't show up to celebrate Mother's Day with her a few times because of my birthday. My birthday is in April, Mother's Day is in May. That once we got back together, he forgot about her completely because I made him abandon her. In brackets, he goes to her house at least 3 times a week. She said the fact that we had an engagement party without checking how she felt about it was wrong, and all the evidence she needed to see what kind of woman I am. My dad pointed out that she didn't pay for the engagement dinner to have any input on it. Dan asked her what she was thinking of asking to wear white to our wedding, and why is she so hungry for attention. Her face got red and she went off. She told Dan that maybe if he would have properly married her and gave her a real wedding, she wouldn't feel left out.
She loves pointing that finger, huh?
At everyone but herself.
It's everyone's fault.
Dan straight up called bullshit and said that she didn't want to have a real wedding, even though he tried to convince her. The reason being that her mother told her pregnant brides are tacky.
Ah.
She started crying.
This is systemic. This is
It is.
just
It's a vicious cycle.
childhood trauma from her own mom.
Yeah. She started crying, and I honestly felt bad for Debbie here. Mothers, be nice to your daughters or you'll create Debbies. My dad got everyone to calm down, and John finally spoke again and told his mother that he can't keep defending her when she won't even try to respect me. That for his sanity and our relationship, he's going low contact. Debbie kept crying and said that John can't leave her for dead. She's the only mother he'll ever have, and mothers are forever. Wives are not.
Oh, man.
I'm not even his wife yet, and I'm already tearing apart the family. John kept going and told her that we are going to get married. She can't disrespect me and stop crossing boundaries, or she'll be completely cut off. That his visits are dropping down to 1 every 2 weeks, and that she needs to call less. She started going off. She said she knew it. I've done something to him. What did I do to her son? I'm a manipulator and a problem. She told my dad, and she told my dad he raised a demon, and my dad shot back to watch her mouth. John kept shouting, "Mom, stop. Mom, stop." But she kept screaming and then started hyperventilating. She was gripping John's arm, saying she can't breathe. This is when I said to myself, oh no, he's about to flip-flop. He looked at me and I knew he knew what I was thinking. John got her a cup of water and then asked his dad if he could make sure his mom was okay, and asked my dad to take Dan home. Dan and Dad agreed, and his mom started crying louder. She's literally screaming, "I can't breathe," as we walked out so he could hear her. I felt fucking terrible, and I finally spoke. I told John I'm sorry, and I understand if he felt bad, and he said he knew she was faking it, but his instincts wanted to run over and make sure she was okay. I asked if he was okay, and he said no, but he looked really sad about it. My dad walked out behind us. My dad had never seen this side of Deb before, and neither had I. She's always been catty or shady towards me, but this was insane. My dad straight up told John that his mom needed help with her mental health, and John said he was going to talk to his aunt about getting her that help. We went home, and John cried. He said he cried because he watched his mom villainize me and tell others that he just walked in and verbally assaulted her. He said it reminded him of the times he would fight with his dad because his mom would say Dan would just come home from work and yell at her for no reason. I guess it was deja vu for him. He was silent after she said that, so I do believe it struck a nerve with him. He decided to go no contact for now. Before we went to Deb's house, I called a couple counselors in our area to check availabilities, and our first couple counseling therapy is next month. He called his provider today to check for a therapist within his insurance and got an appointment for himself for the 23rd. The ball is rolling, and John seems like he's on the same page as me now. I know this is killing him, though. Dan called us and let us know he got Deb to calm down. He said he spoke to her as best as he could about her hammering her own relationship with John, but she didn't want to hear it. So thank you, Reddit. I really didn't expect this to blow up like this. The advice and well wishes I got from this was overwhelming in a great way. While I should be happy, something about it just making me feel down. I hope that Debbie gets better and that we can one day have her in our lives. Something about that comment about her mother made me hurt for Debbie a little. Hopefully one day I'll get to hear more of her story. Now I'm going back to my regular life, and I hope I won't ever have a dramatic update for you guys ever again.
Ooh,
that was a long one.
that indeed sounded like generational trauma.
Yeah,
It sounds like, you hear that a lot, and I'm glad to hear at the end of the updated story that trauma stopped with John, and I'm glad that at least John is not he's not like he did a lot of wrongs in the beginning of the story, but I'm glad that he did grow a spine, and I'm glad he decided to be like, hey, let's stop it here right now. I want to be with OP and want to have a life with them, so I want to do right by her. So I'm glad that he did, and I'm glad that they got the community and the support to do that with them. And I feel bad for OP because this is like a marriage, like she wants to work out, and there's so much like barriers for it to happen.
Yeah,
and she still stuck it out, and I applaud OP for the patience. Couldn't have been me. I'm like, if this is, I always say love shouldn't be that fucking difficult, but I understand that everyone's different. Everyone's situation is going to be different. And this is one of those where it's like, fuck, it's a lot. So I know she had like 4 talking points in the beginning, but if possible, if the finances is right, the situation is right, I would like to add a 5th one for that, just so it can make your life a little bit more peaceful. Get the hell out of the area you're in. Whoa, Josh. I mean, when she says I can't breathe, I was already thinking in my head, I'm like, well, you guys are going to save some money at least.
John's like in a video game.
In a video game. But I would suggest like, try to get out the area, create that physical barrier. So that way, like there's less likely of a chance where she can just pop out of nowhere, say hi to you guys, or, change your numbers. So that way there's no way of them contacting you unless you want to contact Debbie. So, and it'll be in your control then. So other than that, I'm glad there's a happier update. I wish your relationship gets smoother while you take the steps to like get better, like, the couple counseling and all that. So I'm wishing the rest of your journey together is going to be a smoother ride than how it started.
Yeah, lots of kudos to OP because, I mean, of course, we already gave kudos to John for stepping it up, but
that's a ride or die right there.
After the fact was like, hey, are you good? And then even after that, like, was looking up counselors and therapists for Debbie when she could have just been like, yeah, I hope she fucking like.
I hope she couldn't breathe.
I hope it's game over for her ass.
You know what I'm saying? So kudos to OP for feeling the sympathy. And hopefully this is the worst part of it. And Debbie can get the help she needs. She can maybe see a therapist too and get her own happy ending. Because that is a bummer. Because it's definitely not normal. It seems like John is finally realizing that it's not normal. So
yeah.
Also, like his low contact once every 2 weeks. That's still pretty good. I know a lot of people don't see their parents
like once every 2 to 3 months. Like I call them more, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But like, it's still not that bad.
I thought that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Debbie, MILF Manor, please. Just do it.
Go into one without your son.
But John is booked and blessed.
John would have to go. You're right. A single life. 90 Day Fiancé, single life, Debbie. Be the third Debbie in that show. Please.
There you go. I will say, get your shit figured out before you go on that show.
Yeah, please.
Or
they might,
because we want
they might not take you if you do have your shit together.
True.
Yeah, if you guys, we want messy. I want messy drama. Okay,
Yeah.
I like seeing other people have problems. I don't like having problems in my life.
Yeah, I do.
The producers are like, I think you're too healthy for this.
Yeah, you guys are. Yeah,
too mentally sane. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel bad for Debbie at the point of like it obviously is her own trauma. She's like pushing onto her son, which is not okay. But she's got to deal with that on her own. And I hope she does so that she can also live a healthier life, as well as not, take away, like be the heel in everyone else's life. Like just sad. So I hope she figures it out. It sounds like OP and John are on a better path. It's like John always says, if people aren't giving you the energy, cut them off. And that's what they had to do. So
this is so crazy because it's the same scenario at the 90 Day Fiancé show. Like Debbie and the son, his name is Colt. They have the same dynamic where it's like she'll be upset that, oh, you're gonna leave me here by myself. You're gonna go marry another woman. Yada yada yada. I'm just like, damn. This is I'd be watching this shit every Sunday.
That's crazy. You should start a podcast. Watch TLC with John or something like that.
TLC sponsor us, please.
90-day podcast.
Get therapy.
I don't know how to read.
Get therapy.